Hey guys, so I didn't realize how much I yapped in this tutorial until I started editing it. But sorry I talked so much. You can skip through it if you want. But I think it I really do think it might help you guys a little bit. Even if it's not a lot, it might help you just a little bit. And if you don't make it to the end, um thank you for attempting it. And yeah, just make sure if you enjoy this, just let me know if you want me to make more. All right, guys? Um, that's all I have to say before it starts. Have fun, I guess. Good luck. Hey guys, what's up? Today I am gonna be trying to explain or gonna be trying to show you how to understand and use Roblox Studio. And I'll try and do it in a way that's easier to understand. And I will admit I am not the greatest at Roblox Studio, but I'm hoping with what knowledge I have and what I've learned and how I've learned it, it might help you guys understand and learn how to use Roblox Studio a bit better. So, I'm assuming you guys have Roblox Studio downloaded. Um so when you first load in, you'll just have new here, but you'll have like my games if you have any recents, tour. Uh this I wouldn't use this. I don't honestly understand what it did. I mean, it kind of explained it, which is nice, but not enough. Okay. So we have all this here, race and flat terrain. This is brand new, but flat terrain, classic base plate, and base plate are what you're gonna wanna learn on, I guess. You can use any of these if you really want to, but this is what I'd recommend. So we're just gonna do base plate. Okay. So I clicked on it and we're loading in now. So first things first, I am going to explain how to use it. So you should load in with workspace and properties right here. But in case you don't, this is where everything that you will be able to view will be on here. So there will be tag editor, which I will go into in depth about that. There's going to be team create for if you have friends playing. Script recovery, yeah, that doesn't matter too much. Performance, task scheduler, performance, script performance, output, script analysis, command bar, object browser, toolbox, asset manager, properties, and explorer. The two biggest ones are the main ones you'll use. Okay, properties and explorer. So yours will probably look like this. And if you don't have an output, make sure to turn output on. This will tell you if there's any failures in your scripts. Oh, shit. If there's any issues in your scripts, anything of the sorts. If you do anything in your script that will show something in the output, then you'll see it. If there's any errors, any issues, anything like that, you will see it in here. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much in depth with asset manager and toolbox and whatnot. Toolbox is free assets. Object browser just teaches you about stuff. You can, if there's ever something you can't understand or don't understand, in here will kind of teach you and tell you what you can do with it and what will happen with it. Okay. Okay, I'll stop talking so much. So we have Explorer here and properties, okay? So the first thing that you might be wondering how to do is, how do I build something? Or how do I import or just get something on here that's not this or a base plate? And you have a few different ways you can. You have part here, so you can click part. There's block, sphere, wedge, corner, wedge, and cylinder. If you just click part here, it'll just spawn in a part. Another way is by clicking this plus here, and you'll get access to everything that Roblox has for objects. Okay, so we'll just do part again, see? So we spawn in a part this way too. Okay. There's folders, scripts, tools, spawn location, mesh part models. All of these you will use at some point. Okay. If whether you're just learning or anything like that, you're gonna want to mess around with these. So you know how to spawn parts in, but how do you edit the parts? Okay. So you have two different ways. Oh, and to delete them, you can right click them and do delete. And click here, right click, delete. And then there's also a command right here, which is just delete. Okay. And to duplicate, Control D. Okay, so you want to edit the part. Okay. You're going to have properties here. And this will be everything you can do with that part. So you've got your brick color, deep blue, navy blue, all of the sorts. And you can also fine tune it by clicking color here instead of brick color. And you can fine tune the color. So say I want like a dark brown. Boom, I got a dark brown. Cast shadow, so you can kind of tell or understand what that does. There's a shadow here. Turn that off. No more shadow. Okay. Material. There's a lot of materials. Okay. All of these have their own thing. All of these look different. Asphalt, basalt, brick, all of it. All of these are different in some way. I'm just going to do smooth plastic for now. Okay. Material variant. That is for custom textures, which you probably won't mess around with too much, so I won't really explain that. Reflectance is how much it reflects, obviously. So like reflect in the sky, see 1, 0, 1, 0. You can kind of tell what it's doing. Transparency is how transparent it is. So 0 is not at all. 1 is fully transparent, and then anything in between is like partially to somewhat transparent. Okay. There's archivable. Honestly, I have no clue what that does, so I'm not going to explain it too much. Locked means you can't grab it from your actual cursor. You can't select it, can't move it, can't do anything with it unless you actually click on it in the workspace. Okay. Name of the part. We'll just name this brown, but that's how you name the part. You can either click name here or right click it and do rename. I normally just right click and do rename, or F2 also works. And then the parent, which this is, oh, damn it. This is the same concept as just moving it to players. Now the players is parent. Moving it to workspace, now workspace is parent. Base plate is now parent. The parent is what is like above this. So like you see these little arrows, anything that's under these arrows is a child of this. And this is the parent of it. So this texture is a child of the base plate. And this texture is parent is base plate. Okay. I think I kind of explained that a little bit, but so let's keep going. There is size here. 4, 1, 2. You can do 1, 1, 1. It's XYZ. So you can look up here. So if I do 10 on the X, it'll go out that way. If I do 10 on the Y, it'll go up. If I do 1 on this, it'll go towards where the camera is right now. See? So you can also always look at this if you need help figuring out which way is X, Y, Z. Okay. Let's just do 2, 2, 2. Okay. We got a cube. C-frame. I will explain a bit more about this. It's basically just the position of it. That's all that is. It's just the position of where it's at in the world. So you can see C-frame moving around, as in position is like moving around, you know? So you can see C-frame is moving around in origin. C-frame is mainly what you're going to focus on. Okay, so just C-frame. Pivot is for rotation. It changes the way it rotates. So you can pivot it on this axis, like you can pivot it to where it rotates. I don't know how to explain it, but like you could pivot it to where it'll rotate kind of like this. But when it's up like this, it'll rotate that way. But right now it doesn't because of how the axis is, or axis. You got can collide and can touch. Okay, so can collide means the player can collide with it. It means the player can essentially physically not go through it. If you turn that off, the player can go through it. And this is where the rest of it kind of makes, you have to kind of pay attention to this too. So can collide turns off the fact that you can collide with it, so you can't go through it. But just because can collide is off doesn't mean you can't touch it. You can enable can touch, and you can still physically touch it. You just can't, you can touch it, just the part won't stop you from going through it. So you can just walk right through the part. Okay. Can query has to do with, honestly, I don't know what can query has to do with. I'll just be honest with that. So I'll keep all that on for now. Anchored. You are always going to want to make sure you have anchored on. Something people always mess up on, I do it all the goddamn time, is I forget to anchor my parts. Always, always, always anchor them unless there's something specific you're doing with it. Okay, so if you just have a part in your world that is a house, make sure it's anchored. Then it won't fall through the map or just fall and tumble. And if can collide is off and anchored is off, it'll just disappear. It'll essentially just fall straight through the map. Okay. Custom physical properties. Never messed around with this, I'm gonna be honest. Don't even know what it does. Didn't even know this was honestly a thing just till now. Density, elasticity, friction weight. This is, oh, okay. I think it's kind of obvious what it does. So friction is how much friction, if it's unanchored, it'll have against the ground. If you were to make a soccer ball as a cube, so if you were trying to make Rocket League, you would want to mess around with this, okay? You want to mess around with the friction and the elasticity and all that, okay? Massless. This makes it so the part is in essentially like zero gravity, so the part will just float around. Root priority. I don't know what that is. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm gonna be honest. Same with shape. So shape is, you can just change the shape of it. Cylinder, wedge, corner wedge, block. You can just change the shape of it. Assembly. Don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, this is the velocity of it. Okay. The velocity is, I just won't go into detail about that. That's a lot of talking that I don't want to do. Okay. So I explained all the properties of this, all of these properties, and what they kind of do. Okay. Scale. I think I should have explained this too. You can scale the part just by using scale. If you hold shift, it'll scale the whole part. If you hold control, it'll just scale both sides. And then if you just grab it on one end, it'll just scale on that one end. So you can hold shift to scale the whole thing, control to scale it back to back. So this side and this side, or red and red, blue and blue. And then you can use just clicking it, just holding it to just scale it that one direction. Okay. So this is where people might start to get a little confused. This is where you might give up. This is where some people might just be like, "Oh, that's too much work." But it's not. It's you'll really start to understand it. Okay. So I'm going to put a script inside of this part here. Okay. And I'm going to make it to where every time we touch this part, it will grow and it'll move back. Okay. So, let's just make it grow. Let's just make it grow. I want to make it simple. Okay. So every time we touch this part, it'll grow +1. Okay. So inside of this script, we are going to want to do local part equals script.parent. Okay. So now that we're starting to get into the scripts, I'll explain this. Okay. So local makes it so this is a variable. Okay. And a variable is a thing we can call on any of the functions or anything that we're doing in this. So see how it says local part equals script.parent. So the local part is this right here. So part is the name of it equals script.parent. So script.parent. This always works. Script will always work for any script you're in. You just do script.parent. It doesn't matter what the name of the script is. It doesn't matter about any of that. Just script.parent, okay? So now, if you do local part equals script.parent, this is what the variable will be called. This is where it's lead into. So let's just name this brown. This is because that's what it's called. It's brown. Okay. Okay. Next, we'll do local size increase equals, okay, vector3 dot new brown dot size times 1 and then times 2 and then comma. Okay. And we'll just paste this into 3 different things that I'll explain this to. Okay. So basically what this is here is, like I said, so local size increase. Local is whatever you want this to be, essentially. So we're just going to name it size increase. Okay, so we're calling size increase, which will mean that if we call size increase inside of a function, it will equal vector3 dot new, which a vector3 is an xyz. It says right here, returns a new vector3 from the given x and xyz components. So we can essentially do vector3 dot new and then brown dot size times 2 for all 3 of these because it's x, y, z. Okay, so it'll grow up like this, and then I don't know how to explain it, but kind of straight out, you know, like straight out that way, straight out this way, straight out. Okay, this is where it'll start to make sense once I start putting it together. So we will do brown dot touched equals, or brown dot touched connect function. Okay, so now it's seen if brown is touched, it connects a function, and then this is where it ends. This is where the function will end. So it's checking if the part here, so script.parent, so if the script's parent, brown, the part, gets touched, it's going to connect a function, and then it'll do whatever is inside of this function when brown is touched. So if brown is touched, then we will do brown dot size equals size increase, or plus equals. We will do plus equals, and I'll explain that too. So brown dot size plus equals size increase. Okay. So brown dot size is the property inside of here, brown size. Okay. So you can call on any single property inside of here. So brown dot size is a property of it. Brown dot C-frame is a property. Origin is a property. Pivot offset, can collide, can touch. All of these are things. So you could do like local anchored equals brown dot anchored equals false. Okay. Well, that won't work, so I'll have to I'll just explain that. My bad. Okay. Brown dot anchored equals false. So basically, I'm calling on the anchored property of brown, and I'm making it false. So anything like this is a bool value. So it's either true or false. Nothing else, just true or false. So if I want it to be true, I would just do brown dot anchored equals true. Okay, simple enough, I think. Anything like this, depending on what it is, will either require a vector3.new, a C-frame.new. That's kind of more of a advanced thing. It's not more advanced, but it's more, once you start to understand how Roblox Studio works, you'll start to do that. But So it should work just how it is right here. I'm not going to explain too much because I will let you see what happens. I'll make sure this is anchored. Okay. So it's anchored. Where is it? Part anchored. Okay. Let's play. Okay, we're in. There's our part. We touch it. Ooh. We're having an issue already. Nothing happens. Okay. Oh, my nose. And so, since nothing is happening, I just found out what I fucked up. My bad. Sorry. So we did brown dot size plus equals size increase. That ain't going to do anything because we're just calling on size increase, which is not going to do anything because it's just a vector 3. If we do brown dot size plus equals brown dot size plus size increase, that should work. And I'll kind of explain why we had to do something like that. Oop, it worked. Too good. But notice how it's huge as a lot. And it's just going to continuously grow since we're still touching it. Okay. But it worked. So the reason we did brown dot size plus equals brown dot size plus size increase is because if we do brown dot size plus equals size increase, it's not going to do anything because it's just doing brown dot size plus size increase. It's not telling the size increase where to go. It's just plus equal in size increase, which is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not going to do anything, okay? So if we do plus equals brown dot size plus size increase, it'll work. Okay. I don't know why I didn't explain that very well, but it works. Okay. So we noticed that the part grew a lot. It grew way too much, way more than it needed. Okay. So that's where we can add a debounce. Okay. So if we do local debounce essentially. Well, you know what? Let's not do debounce. Let's demonstrate what weight does. Okay. So there's a weight value. Okay, so there's weight. I think weight's kind of self-explanatory. It waits however long you put in. So 10 seconds, it'll wait 10 seconds. 1 second, 1 second, 10, 15, whatever. Okay. I recommend doing task.wait though, because task.wait is just a lot more reliable and it's the exact same thing. You just add task at the front of it. Okay, so we're going to do task.wait 2 seconds. And what you should notice now is that we can touch it. Oh, I know that doesn't work. We do need a debounce. My bad. Okay. Let's add a local debounce up here. Local debounce equals false. Okay. So this is where we're going to get into if, ends, or buts. Or whatever. Okay, my bad. So basically we will do if debounce is equal to false, then there we go. Let's just put that in there. So what this is doing is it's checking. So when this is touched, if debounce is equal to false, then brown dot size plus equals size increase. So it increases the size if debounce is false. Okay. If it isn't though, then we can do if debounce is equal to false, then brown dot size else debounce else well, I guess we don't have to. And then we can do the task wait 1 second or 5 seconds. Okay. So that should work. nothing happens. And I also forgot to change it back to false. So let me just forgive me on that real quick. False. Okay. So now, when we touch the part, it's going to check if debounce is equal to false, which it was. So now it's not going to work. So since debounce was equal to false, it grew the size, and then it made debounce true. So since debounce is true now, it's not going to go through this because debounce isn't false. It's going to wait 5 seconds, and then debounce will equal false again. So now I should be able to touch it again, see? But now I can't do anything because it's true. But now I can see how that works. It's pretty neat, honestly. But now it only grows every 5 seconds. Okay. So, say we wanted it to make sure that it was a player and not just the ground touching it or anything, because ground.touched will check everything that touches it. So say we just want to make sure that a player touched it, we can do this. So we're going to add a parameter. A parameter is, kind of explains it here, connects the given function to the event and returns a Roblox script connection that represents it. That does not explain it very well. So I'll just kind of show you. So player, so it'll check it when brown.touch connects function, it'll get the player that touched it. So it'll get the whatever touched it, okay, which will be, I guess I'll call it the player. So if, we'll add another if player dot parent, or if player dot parent dot humanoid, then we can put this in here. Okay, I think that'll work. I might need to check, but so we'll go to it's not registering a touch with this. Okay, that's good. Then when I touch it, it grows. See? And it's checking everything. So it's gonna say humanoid is not a valid member of blah 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 blah. We can fix that, but so now it only registers if one of these parts touches it here, or one of these. So if this touches it, my legs, anything like a part of my body here touches it, it'll activate. But it does not care about the ground because the ground does not have a humanoid. Okay. We can do if player dot humanoid, then it'll do that. But if it does if player dot parent dot humanoid nil, then return end. Okay, I'm gonna test that and then I'll explain it because I'm not honestly 100% sure it'll work. But that's the fun about it, honestly. Nope, doesn't work. I know why though. Okay. If player dot parent oh wait, here. Give me 1 second, my bad. Okay, so that should work. I forgot to add a gosh. So now, if never mind. Workspace.zombslayer.white hair accessory. Why does it keep checking that? See how it registers when I touch it, but not when the ground touches it? That's mainly what I was trying to do. So we'll just ignore that for now. I will just keep going on about it, or keep going on about what you can kind of do. So basically what the script does, I'll explain it one last time. If brown, the part that is the parent of the script, is touched, it connects it to a function where it gets the player, or it gets the part that touched it. We can also do part, but I'm just going to do player. So, I'll make it better. I'll do part. So now so any part that touches it, it'll make sure that the part.parent has a humanoid. So if part.parent.humanoid, then it checks if debounce is also false. If debounce is also false, then brown.size is equal this here. But there's another way to do this. So instead of doing if then twice, we can do if part.humanoid or part.parent.humanoid and debounce is equal to false, then it'll do the script. Okay, so that gets rid of a whole extra line of code right there. So now it's checking if part.parent.humanoid and the debounce is equal to false, then it'll play this script here. So instead of having if, then, and then if, then, and then having two ends, it's only if part.parent and debounce equals false, then it'll do it. Okay. So let's try and show you that. See, completely gets rid of the whole having to have two different lines. Okay. But now say you wanted to also change the color of it. Okay. We would do local color equals, let's just get some random, uh-oh. You know what, whatever. Let's not do color. I want to explain some more stuff. So leader stats is another thing that I should explain to you, because leader stats is something everybody will have in their game at some point. At some point in their career, they're going to do a leader stats. So I'm going to show you another function and another thing you can do. So this is just the script for this. So when this gets touched, it grows it. Okay, simple script. Everybody probably teaches that. Okay. So now we're going to go to server script service. Okay. We're going to click on the plus and add a script. We're going to name this all lowercase leader stats. Okay. We don't have to name it this, but it just makes it easier for you guys. You can name it whatever you wanted. Okay. So we're going to do local players equals game get service. I don't know what they're called, honestly. I forgot. Players. Okay. So what this is doing is it's getting the variable players. So that's what the variable will be, is players. So players equals game get service players. And so that service is this right here. There's stuff inside of this service that we can use, which I will show you. But so it's getting the service for players. Okay. What we're going to do now is local or players dot player added connect function, and then we will do this, and then we will add player here, because that's the variable, the player that joined. Okay, so it's checking, it's doing players dot player added. So when a player is added, it'll connect the function to the player, and it'll do this. So we can do instant or local leader. Let's just do local folder. Okay, local folder equals instance.new folder. Okay, so what this is doing now is when a player is connected, it makes a new folder essentially. So the local folder is instance.new folder. Okay, so instance.new creates it in the script, or it doesn't create it within the script, but it creates it from the script. So instead of having to put something in here and then having to like put it in the character every single time, this just creates a new one every time a player joins. Okay. So local folder equals instance.new folder. Okay. Local, or then we'll just do folder dot name equals leader stats, all lowercase leader stats. Okay, so what that does is it names the folder. So the folder here dot name, so the name of it equals leader stats, and you always make sure you put this whenever it's a string value, which a string value is essentially words or letters or stuff like that. Okay, forgive me because I do not remember the name of them, but you always put these whenever you're trying to define what it is. So a folder here, that's the name of it. That's the string name, the class name. Players is the string name of it right here. Okay. Thank you. I think that kind of makes sense. Okay. So we get the folder.name equals leader stats. Then we'll do folder.parent equals player. Okay. So it connects it to the player. And this player here, when they join, it makes the folder.parent equals the player. So it puts this folder inside of the player every time they join or anytime they join. It creates a new folder, names the folder leader stats, puts the folder inside of the player. Simple enough. Okay. Now say you want a value inside of it. You will do name it whatever you want, local, whatever. So I'm just gonna do value equals instance.new, which we're creating a new one, and we'll do a number value. You can do what are the other values? I don't remember. But I mainly use number value. Yeah. Instance.new number value. Number or value dot name equals parentheses, comma, I don't fucking know, bro. I don't remember what it's called. Value.name equals money. Okay, we'll just, or coins. We'll call it coins. Okay, so the name of it is coins. We'll do value.parent equals leader stats equals folder. Yeah, I'll just keep that. So it's put in the parent of the value as the folder. So leader stats here. Okay, so we're gonna put the value inside of the folder leader stats. And then we will do value dot value equals 1. Okay. So every time the player joins, every time a player is added, it connects a function to that specific player where it creates a new folder. The folder name is set to leader stats and it parents the folder to the player. Then it creates a new value called instance.new, or it creates a new value that's a number value, names it coins, puts the value of the parent, or puts the coins variant or coins value or parent to value. Oh my god, I'm sorry. It puts the coins parent to folder, so the leader stats, and then it puts the value of it to 1. Okay, so that should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. There. So we load it in, and you can see that we got a coin right here. And right here, if we go into here, it parented it to my player, because I was the player that joined. Right here, player. Connected the leader stats to me, and then put the value of coins inside of it. So now I have coins. Okay. But now say you wanted to add coins to it. All right. Now say you wanted to add coins to the player. Let's make another part here. Another brown, as I'm gonna call it. Okay, so this one's gonna be the money brown. I'll put this one like right above it. Okay. This is where we're gonna do a click detector. Or, you know what? Let's do proximity prompt. Proximity prompts just look nicer. Okay, so I clicked it. I clicked plus. You can type in proximity prompt, throw it in there. Okay. I'm gonna name this to add money. Okay. We will hold duration, whatever, all that can be kept as the same. Okay. And then delete all of this right here. Okay. We will do, so the brown is script.parent. Then we will do local prox, which is, I'm just going to say prox, which is the proximity prompt. So the value, or oh my god, the variable prox will be equal to script, or will be equal to brown dot add money. So it goes from brown, which is the variable here, so script.parent. Prox is Brown's child. Okay. So now that's technically all we really need. We can do local increase or local payday. I'll just call it payday equals let's say a value of 5. Okay. So payday equals 5. So you're making $5. They're 5 coins. So we're gonna do prox, which is the proximity prompt, dot enabled or triggered when the prompt key button is pressed or after specified. Okay, never mind. Yeah, prox dot triggered connect to a function. You know what? I'll show you something else real quick. Let's figure out how to use. Okay, we're gonna do local function. Let's name it add money. I think that works. There we go. Okay. So there's a local function here, and the name of it's add money. So this is the name of it right here. All right. So it's gonna add money every single time. Blah 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 blah. All right. So local functions are able to be called whenever you want it to be. So if I go down here, I'll kind of show you real quick. If I do prox dot triggered, I can just do connect and then do add money, and boom. So it connects it to the local function of add money right here. So what I want this to do is get the player whenever the player presses it. Okay. And it will do local leader stats equals player dot, I think we can literally just do player dot leader stats, because whenever the player presses it, we're gonna test that out. We're just gonna keep it like that for now. Local coins equals leader stats dot coins. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is just coins dot value plus equals payday. Simple enough. I think that'll work. Don't quote me on it yet, because I don't remember. Oh, it works. Yeah. Okay. So every time the player presses it, it'll add plus 5 coins to them. Okay. Because basically, so what it's doing is the local parent is script.part. Local proximity prompt is right here, so it's brown.add money, and then the payday is 5, so that's how much it's going to go up, or the value that you want it to go up. So the local function is add money. Okay. Local leader stats is player.leader stats. Okay. Local coins is leader stats.coins, and then coins.value plus equals payday. And then all it does is when the proximity prompt or prox is triggered, it just connects the function to add money. That's it. It's really simple, but it can become really confusing really quick. Okay. And I'll explain this real quick too. Player on a proximity prompt goes to this player. It'll go to this player here when a proximity prompt is triggered. But when you touch something and you do player, it's going to connect it to, or in part or player, it's going to connect it to whatever touched it. But this is connecting it to whatever player, or whenever you do player, it's connecting it to right here. Okay. Simple enough. Let's see. What else do I have? I think I'll show you one more thing too. I'll do a click detector instead of add money. Just delete this and rename click detector to add money. Okay. So now instead of proximity prompt dot triggered, let's name this to click 2. let's do click dot mouse click connect add money. That's simple. So now all it's doing there is when the part's clicked, which under here any part of it is clickable now. All it's doing is if you click the part with a mouse click, it connects it to add money, so you make money from it. And I think that should still work the same. Oh, nope. That's right. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try this real quick. Yep, okay. So with a click detector, you can't find the player just by them clicking it, if I am correct. Oh no, that's right. Here. Just get rid of that. That should fix it, I think. Yep. That should work. There we go. Boom. And you're gonna notice you can literally auto click it. So we can just do the same thing we did with this, with the debounce. We're just gonna do local debounce equals false. If debounce is equal to false, then debounce equals true. Wait, let's say 2 seconds or 1 second. Debounce equals false. That's simple. Now there's a debounce, and I can't auto click it. See? Now I can't auto click it, even though I think you can hear me spamming my mouse. I can't auto click it now, or spam click it. I can only click it every 1 second or 2 seconds or whatever I set it to. That is kind of the basics of like variables here. Local brown, all of this. Local functions. And then here we just have it connecting it to a function, which you can create inside of here, or you can connect it to a local function. We did leader stats. So now you know how to create leader stats, and you can just add more by simply doing copy and pasting this. Just rename this to, say, rebirths. Say you wanted to increase, say you wanted to rebirths too. Now we'll have coins and rebirths. Boom. Simple enough. I can go more into depth with this and kind of explain to you how to do more with this if you want. I really enjoy trying to teach people and I just really enjoy doing this type of stuff. Okay. So if you all are like, would like me to make more, it would be greatly appreciated to just let me know in the comments. I didn't get to local scripts, but you know what, let's do one of those real quick too. You know, no. I'm gonna stop getting ahead of myself. If you want me to make another tutorial, just let me know in the comments. That would be, like I said, greatly appreciated. I would really enjoy that. But yeah, that is the basics of the leader stats, click detectors, and scripts. So thank you all for watching. Please let me know if you'd like more. I'll go into more detail if you would like more. I'm going to leave my Discord down in the description if you need any help or want me to do more and just want me to want to tell me through Discord, go for it. But yeah, thank you guys for, I don't know, just listening to me and watching me do this. If you made it to the end, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Okay. But see you guys. Peace out.